Hey guys, this is Del K. Burton. This is The Real Spiel, and you know, coming out of the holidays, there were so many things that you know, we just had to basically put on the back stove and allow to matriculate. But coming now into the new year, I absolutely want to put them back under extreme pressure and heat. Just in respect to the ADL, let's start off here. So, a gentleman who is becoming a very good friend of mine and a confidant is Rabbi Fume. And so Rabbi Fume, for those who don't know, I brought his name up in multiple videos, but if this is the first video that you're seeing, please subscribe and consider joining the channel. But Rabbi Fume is the cousin of Michelle Obama. And myself and Rabbi Fume got in contact prior to the Christmas season on the day before he was on his way to Israel. And we discussed that when he came back from Israel, I believe it would be the 21st of December, he was going to have a meeting with Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL. And this meeting was simply about forcing the ADL to remove, I believe, one of, or more than one of, Rabbi Fume's organizations off of the ADL's website, and to make sure they made a clear distinction of who were not hate groups or individuals of concern that were called Hebrew Israelites. And so I guess Rabbi Fume needed to make sure that the ADL saw anything that he was connected to in very good light. And I think that was the way that he attempted to approach the conversation. In speaking with him, you know, he's extremely passionate about Judaism, and he's extremely passionate about sharing Judaism with the world, especially his people, the Africans and African diaspora. And he has become a very strong representation in the United States of America of what it means to be black and Hebrew, or black and Jewish. And so, once he had this meeting with Jonathan Greenblatt, him and I actually begged him to be part of that meeting somehow, and I don't think he saw that being something that was going to help his position, so he didn't accommodate that. And he had the meeting, and then he said he would give us feedback, and he did. So let me give you, I had a brief conversation with the members weeks ago about this, but let me give you guys a bigger picture now of what took place in that meeting. And there's still follow-up to be noted of, but I think it's fair, and I gave Rabbi Fume time, and I said after a certain amount of time I'm going to start discussing it publicly too. But I gave him time because he needed time to see what I think he didn't see before. So this meeting he had with Jonathan Greenblatt, Jonathan Greenblatt addressed him saying, you know, I thought you would remember me from the Barack Obama, the Obama administration, and Rabbi Fume did not. And the conversation ensued where Rabbi Fume was trying to just, you know, clearly articulate that he is not, and that those who call themselves Hebrews are not necessarily what are seen in America amongst other groups calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. They don't street evangelize. He wanted to be clear that they didn't say anything disparaging to women, or he wanted to make sure that his variety and his version of being an Orthodox Jew and referring to himself as a Hebrew wasn't something that was mixed in with what he sees to be something that is just, I would say, not his cup of tea in the area of being referred to as a Hebrew Israelite. I think that's fair to say it that way. He also mentioned that how come there is no representation from the Hebrew African community or from any Afro-Semitic or any Afro-Orthodox community with the ADL? And he put it to Greenblatt. Why is there nobody who, when there is a problem that happens, that you think there's a problem that happens between Jewish people and the black community, that you don't have black ambassadors who actually work for the ADL? You don't have individuals who can go out there and become a bridge builder from our community to our community. And Jonathan Greenblatt said, well, that's something that we just don't have right now. And he said, well, it has to happen immediately. It's something that you need to create immediately, because you don't have anybody from our community actually representing our community in the ADL, and the ADL allegedly is supposed to represent black people too, and that's what the ADL says on their website, that they they fight hate in all shapes and sizes, and that they're supposed to be an anti-racist organization that both defends Jewish and black people too. And we know that is just lip service for their website, because most of their powers came into fruition in the Obama administration. Most of his strong connections with the FBI and the CIA, groups who've always killed black people, always hunted us. That's where the ADL's true force is, especially behind Jonathan Greenblatt. So of course that's just lip service for the website. But Rabbi Fume was like, listen, not only do you need to have a a group or a person or an affiliate, you need to have it. You need to put that in place immediately, and I'm expecting you to get back to me. And that's essentially what he said took place in the meeting. I'm sure there was more, but he encapsulated it in that way for me. Now this is it for me. And no disrespect towards Rabbi Fume. Rabbi Fume approached that meeting for his organizations and for his personal interests, to make sure that if any issues were taking place between black people and Jewish people, his name was not called. And that's fine. But what I think he's discovering, and I told him what he's going to see, is that the ADL is going to do absolutely nothing that you asked for, because they're not meant for that. They have not been sent to address the concerns of black people. And I said this to him, and he wanted me to put it in writing, and I think I still will. I still will take the time to write that down, because I promised I'd do it, and I'm going to do it. Actually, maybe tonight. But I said, listen, who gives the ADL the right to say which faith groups are faith groups? Who has given Jonathan Greenblatt the right to cherry pick amongst black faith groups and say this one is okay and this one is not okay? And even though, Rabbi Fume, you went there, to make sure that your organizations weren't put on an ADL list, you're going to become the greatest advocate and the greatest ambassador for this movement, not for just your organization, but for all black faith groups who the ADL will deem are hate groups. And there's no other voice. And Rabbi Fume is a softer perspective than me. He's a softer approach than me. And soft doesn't mean he's not. Soft doesn't mean he's soft. Soft is meaning that he doesn't come at you the way I come at you. So just so you don't misunderstand what I mean when I use that word. He's not coming at you guns blazing. He's coming at you diplomatically. I don't come like that. I come showing up for war. When my diplomacy, and I explained it to somebody else, my diplomacy is like this. I will show up with 1,000,000 troops to your drawbridge, and I will ask you to come outside and let's have a conversation. I won't come to burn down your castle right away, but my diplomacy is I'm showing up with force Now we can have a conversation. You show up to the drawbridge and you're the only man standing out there with a little stick in your hand and say, I want to speak to the king. They're going to throw a rock and hit you in the head and carry you away somewhere and bury you. You show up with 1 million soldiers with swords that are razor sharp, with bloodthirsty looks on their face, and say, can we have a conversation? I think that goes a lot further. And that's the only thing I was saying to Rabbi Fume. I said, what are you? This is actually, I didn't say that. I said this after. Are you dangerous enough for them to care what you think? Are you dangerous enough for them to act upon what you ask for? Because when the rubber hits the road, black community, and this is some of you run away from this conversation, but when the rubber hits the road, the only thing that will make a colonizer and an oppressor and an individual who marginalizes you as a group, the only thing that will make them quake in their boots, is, are you dangerous enough? That's it. Everything that has been done to black people, and this is what you got to recognize and understand. Every single thing that has been done to black people, the time they've landed on the shores of Plymouth Rock, has been about what do we do if these people rise up, get angry enough, and throw their chains off and pay us back what is due us? What will we do? Your oppressor, your marginalizer knows you're dangerous. The only person who doesn't know you're dangerous is you. Rabbi Fume, I think, approached that in a way, you know, where he didn't come to the table with enough threats, I'll say it plainly, that would make anyone move from their platform. They're thinking, well, Rabbi Fume, why do we have to move on Rabbi Fume? What can he do? What can he say? You know, if he goes to the newspaper, we own him. If he goes to social media, we own that. What can Rabbi Fume do to us? Is he dangerous enough? Man. So we are now in the pattern, and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of videos have come out, much better than mine, articling and itemizing how the ADL started. I started with that. I broke it down months ago about this organization, and they were started, you know, essentially to get a pedophile murderer off, and they paid off the governor, and they try to pin it on a black man. We know how they started. You go look on their, they don't hide it. It's on their website. They should have shame. They should hide it, but they don't hide it. It's on the ADL's website how they started. You don't have to take anybody's word for it but theirs. And this organization, if not checked, will be the greatest domestic spy organization in America, because and watch this, not just a spy organization, it's a spy organization looking right into the black community. And what it will mean is that some good old little Jewish boy who just wants to be your friend, just wants to be cool, just wants to get rep and street cred, could potentially be a domestic ADL agent, just trying to get intelligence on your situation. You got to be careful. Rabbi Fume, my friend, I implore you, it's time to show them that you're dangerous. It's time to let them know that you've been called for a time as this. It's time to pull out every card, call on every favor, knock on every door for any individual who's made relations with you in the past, Rabbi Fume. It's time to say the ADL needs to be shut down. It's time to also, for those who have been helping the conversation of forming a new NGO. We need to get that done. We have a few things we didn't get done, and there were some things that were supposed to happen for even Demona prior to Christmas time that we didn't get done. So the new year is here. It's time to get some things done. We've had fun. We've drank our eggnog. Some of us drinking sorrel. Some of us, bringing in the new year in festive ways, me included. Open your gifts. But now it's time to get back to business. The business is shutting down a Jewish hate group called the ADL that targets black people, a domestic spy organization that has connections all the way into the FBI. It's time for us as a people to stand up and to let the world know we're dangerous. This is The Real Spiel. It's Del K. Brereton, the most dangerous man on social media. Talk to you later.